My mom booked a family trip using my credit card without consent, then told me I wasn't welcome. I didn't say a word, just took one action that turned their vacation into a disaster. I'm Max, 24 years old, and I've always been the responsible one in my family. You know the type, the one who somehow becomes the de facto tech support, emotional support, and financial backup all rolled into one. I moved out when I was 20 and have been living on my own since, working a stable remote job in design, paying my bills and keeping my distance from the chaos that is my family. They're not all bad, not all the time, but when it comes to guilt trips and passive-aggressive manipulation, they could run a masterclass. Especially my mom. Now, my mom has this charm about her that works on most people, a sweet smile, a soft voice, and that concerned parent aura that makes strangers think she's just the most loving, generous person alive. She can be when it benefits her, but when things don't go her way, that mask comes off fast. Growing up, I was constantly reminded that my accomplishments were only possible because of her sacrifices. If I ever hinted at doing something on my own terms, I was met with sarcastic quips like, "Sure, Max, you know everything now, don't you?" Or, "Let me guess, you think you're better than us?" Still, I kept the peace. I showed up to the holidays, sent birthday gifts, and called often enough to avoid the "you forgot about us" speeches. But things started shifting last year. I got a pretty big promotion, more responsibilities, yes, but also a serious pay bump. I didn't tell anyone at first, not because I was trying to hide it, but because I knew how the conversation would go. My family has this sixth sense when it comes to money. The second they suspect you're doing better, they start circling like vultures looking for a way to benefit. But I slipped up. My younger sister, Lena, 19, came to visit for a weekend, and during dinner, she saw a bank notification pop up on my phone. It was a deposit. A bonus, and it was generous. Her eyes lit up. She didn't say anything right then, but I could tell the gears were turning. She spent the rest of the weekend asking weirdly specific questions. "How's work been lately? Are they treating you well? Must be nice not having to worry about rent. Do you still use that budgeting app? I need help with mine." It was subtle, but I knew where it was going. Sure enough, about a week later, I got a group text from Mom titled, "Family Vacation 2020. 5. There were pictures attached. A beach resort, palm trees, and some itinerary screenshots. The message said something like, "We haven't done a big family trip in years. It's time to make memories again. I found this amazing deal if we book by next week." I stared at it for a good 10 minutes before responding because here's the kicker. There was no question, no. "Would you be interested? Or do you think you could help us make this happen?" It was presented as a done deal. I scrolled up and saw my name already listed under Room 2 Max. I replied with a simple, "Looks nice." "Who's paying for all this?" Mom responded almost instantly. "We were thinking you could cover it. You've been doing so well lately, it would mean a lot to the family." Red heart emoji. Now here's the thing. I could have afforded it, not easily, but I could have shuffled some stuff around. But that wasn't the point. There was no discussion, no planning, just an assumption that because I'd been responsible and worked hard, I now owed them a luxury vacation. I didn't reply, not right away. Cue the calls. First, Lena. "Come on, Max, don't be like that. We never get to do anything as a family anymore. It's not like we're asking for a trip to—" Then Mom. "You always say you want us to be close, but when we try to do something together, you're nowhere to be found." And then my aunt, who somehow got roped in, left me a voicemail about how family is everything and money comes and goes, but memories are forever. After a few days of this, I sent a calm, direct text. "I appreciate the thought, but I'm not paying for the whole trip. If you guys want to do something together, we can plan something reasonable and split costs. No dramatics, just the truth." That didn't go over well. Mom called and went full guilt mode. "I carried you for 9 months, Max. I gave up so much for you, and this is how you repay me? Over a little trip? You're not even thinking of your sister. She's still so young. She deserves some fun. Or are you just too good for us now?" I wanted to scream, but I didn't. I just said, "I'm not paying." End of story. Silence for a couple of days. Then I got a notification that a charge had hit my credit card, a big one, over $2,000. At first I thought it was fraud. I called the bank. They said it was for airline tickets, 3 of them, in my name. I sat there, stunned. Then I called the airline and asked for the itinerary. It matched the dates from Mom's trip plan. Same airport, same destination. I asked who booked them. They said the name, Elaine Myers. My mom. I called her. She picked up like nothing was wrong. "Max, you're going to love the hotel, ocean view and everything." "You used my card?" She actually laughed. "Well, I needed to hold the reservation. We were going to pay you back, eventually." "No, Mom, you stole my card info." "Oh, don't be dramatic." That was the moment something in me cracked. I didn't yell, I didn't argue, I just said cool and hung up. Then I opened my banking app, reversed the charges, canceled the card, and requested a new one. I also called the airline and had the tickets flagged as fraudulent. That part wasn't easy. They made me jump through a few hoops. But eventually, I got confirmation the tickets were canceled. No refund would be issued since it wasn't a refundable fare. Tough luck. I didn't say anything. I just waited. An hour later, my phone rang. It was Lena. "Did you cancel the tickets?" I stayed quiet. "You're joking, right?" We were literally packing, still quiet. Then Mom called. This time, she didn't sound sweet or charming. She sounded furious. "You didn't really think you were coming, did you?" she said, voice dripping with contempt. "You're not even part of this family anymore." I smiled. "Cool," I said and hung up again. But that wasn't the end, because 2 days later, I got a letter from my mom's lawyer, or at least someone pretending to be. The letter claimed I had committed financial interference and caused undue emotional distress by reversing the charges and canceling the trip. And that was when things got really interesting. At first I laughed. I mean, how could I not? A letter from a supposed lawyer printed on plain white paper, no letterhead, no credentials, and filled with dramatic phrases like failure to comply and familial negligence. The sender's name at the bottom was James T. Reynolds, Esquire, which sounded like something pulled from a 90s courtroom drama. I did a quick search. No law license, no firm, no online footprint, nada. So unless my mom had stumbled across some discount legal service from a cereal box promotion, this lawyer was about as real as a soap opera plot twist. Still, it shook me a little. Not because I thought it was real, but because she was willing to go that far, that fast. I started wondering, what was this really about? Was it just about the trip, or had I somehow become this symbol of everything she resented, the one who got out, the one who didn't need her anymore? The next few days were quiet, but in that eerie, suspense movie kind of way, like the moment before a storm when the sky goes still. I didn't hear from my mom or Lena, which was rare. No calls, no texts, not even passive-aggressive "hope you're okay" messages. I should have enjoyed the peace, but instead, I felt like I was standing on a minefield. Then came the group chat. I was brushing my teeth when my phone buzzed again and again, ping, ping, like a slot machine hitting the jackpot. I opened it. The group chat now had 8 people, not just Mom and Lena, but my cousin Jake, my Aunt Marcia, my Uncle Greg, and 2 people I didn't even recognize at first. Apparently, word had spread, and they were all concerned about my erratic. Marcia was the first to chime in. "Mac, sweetie, we know your mom can be a little much sometimes, but this could have been such a beautiful time for everyone. Why blow it up over money?" Then Jake. "You reversed the charges? Seriously? Couldn't you have just said no?" And my favorite, from Greg, who I hadn't spoken to in 3 years. "Honestly, sounds like you've got a lot of bitterness you haven't dealt with. Maybe therapy would help." Therapy, because I didn't want to be scammed out of a few $1,000s. I started typing a reply, deleted it, typed again, deleted it. I wasn't sure what response would even be heard. Finally, I wrote, "I didn't sign up for this trip. I said no multiple times. The tickets were booked with my stolen card info. I reversed a fraudulent charge. You can call that blowing things up, but to me it's just called setting boundaries. If you can't see that, then I think we all need a little space." And then I left the group. 15 seconds later, I got a text from Lena. "You're really doing this, huh?" I didn't reply. Another one came in. "You were always the favorite. Mom bent over backward for you. One little thing and you act like we owe you the world." The favorite. That was rich. I thought about the nights I stayed home to babysit while Lena went out, or the time I worked extra hours to cover her phone bill, or how I missed my college graduation because Mom got too sick to drive, only to post pictures on Facebook from a wine tasting an hour away. It was always the same script. "Max, be a team player. Max, don't make it about you. Max, we're family." Until I started saying no. But here's where things took a turn. A real, stomach-sinking kind of turn. The next day, my manager pinged me on Slack. "Hey, can we chat for 5? I figured it was project, so I joined the video call, coffee in hand, half listening, but her face was weirdly serious. "Hey, Max, I just wanted to give you a heads up. We got an email this morning." I froze. "From who?" She looked uncomfortable. "Someone claiming to be a family member. They accused you of fraud, said we should watch our backs and not trust you with sensitive information. They even attached screenshots of what looks like a police report." I blinked. "What?" She paused. "Don't worry, we know it's ridiculous, but I had to flag it to HR just to cover ourselves. I told them it was obviously personal, but I wanted you to know what's going on." After the call, I just sat there, completely still. I didn't even feel angry, not yet. Just numb. This wasn't just about money anymore. This was about smearing me, about control. Mom couldn't get what she wanted, so she decided to punish me in the most vindictive way possible. by making me look dangerous, unstable, untrustworthy, and what scared me most wasn't the HR notice or the stupid email. It was how fast she escalated. I opened my inbox, searched for anything from my mom's name, and there it was. An email sent 2 hours earlier. Subject line, "You left us no choice." There were attachments, screenshots of texts, all out of context. A blurry photo of me at a bar from 3 years ago, laughing with a drink in hand. A fake-looking Word document with the words "formal statement" in bold at the top. And the message itself was short, just one line. "Actions have consequences, Max. You'll see that soon." My heart was pounding, not out of fear, but something deeper, something hotter. I had spent years swallowing my words, keeping my distance, trying to be the good son. I had forgiven more than I should have, tolerated what I would never advise a friend to tolerate, but this was war, and I wasn't going to sit back and watch her try to burn my life down, not this time. I didn't sleep that night. I tried, lay in bed, eyes open, staring at the ceiling, but my brain wouldn't shut off. It kept spinning through memories like a tape on fast forward. Birthday parties, where I was scolded for not sharing enough. Late-night arguments about money. My mom crying in the kitchen after Lena crashed my car, blaming me for not watching her better. It was all playing in a loop now. Recontextualized by that one email. "You'll see that soon." She hadn't just crossed a line. She'd set the whole map on fire. By morning, I had a plan. Not revenge, not yet. That part would come later. First, I needed to protect myself. I started by calling my company's HR team. I explained the situation in more detail than I had with my manager. I told them I suspected a personal vendetta, that someone from my family was impersonating me or sending emails with false claims. Thankfully, HR was understanding. One of the reps, Dana, even said, "We've seen things like this before. Family can get messy." They logged everything and assured me they'd filter any future emails from my mom's address or anything similar. Next, I called my bank again. I confirmed the previous reversal had gone through, but I also asked them to block any future charges from the airline or the travel agency Mom had used, just in case. Then I went through every online account I owned, changing passwords, enabling two-factor authentication, and locking down anything that could be used against me. Venmo, PayPal, even my old Facebook account. I deleted the email from my mom, but not before saving every attachment and taking screenshots of the message just in case. It was around noon when I got the next surprise, a knock at my door. Not a soft, polite one, not a package delivery. This was the kind of knock that said, "I know you're in there." I checked the peephole. It was Lena, alone. I waited 5 seconds, 10, then opened it just enough to peer out. "Can I come in?" she said. No hello, no smile. "What do you want?" Against my better judgment, I let her in. She looked tired, like she hadn't slept either. Her eyes were ringed with smudged mascara, and her ponytail looked like it had been tied 3 days ago and never touched since. But the look she gave me wasn't apologetic. It was cold. She sat down on the edge of my couch like she owned the place. "I didn't know she was going to go that far," she said finally. "The email to your job, the whole fake lawyer thing, that wasn't part of the plan." "Plan?" I asked. She flinched. "Okay, poor word choice. I just meant, Mom said if we applied a little pressure, maybe you'd come around, book the tickets, call it a misunderstanding. You know how she is." "Yeah, I do. But then you canceled them." And she just snapped. I crossed my arms. "So, you drove all the way here to tell me that?" Lena's mouth tightened. "No, I came to warn you." That caught me off guard. She's talking to Aunt Dana now, and Uncle Fred. She's pulling out the big guns, trying to convince them you're cutting everyone off, isolating yourself. She's going to turn the whole family against you. I laughed once. "No, Max, you don't get it. She's saying you're unstable, that you're having some sort of mental episode. She brought up Dad." I stiffened. Our dad died when we were kids, car accident. But in the years after, my mom crafted this narrative that he'd always been off, moody, paranoid, unreliable. She'd never said the word crazy, but it was always implied. And now she was using that same script on me. "She told Aunt Dana you've been spiraling, said you might lose your job soon, and that's why you're lashing out." "And you believe that?" I asked. Lena hesitated. "No," she said, but it was too late. Her pause had already answered me. "You came here to warn me, huh?" I said. "Or did you come here to see if I'd crack?" She stood up. "I came here because she's scary when she's like this. You don't see it because you cut contact whenever things get hard. But I live with her, Max. I have to deal with the aftermath. And this time, she's not just angry, she's on some kind of mission." I opened the door. "Then maybe it's time you stop living with her." Lena didn't move. "She'll turn on you eventually, too," I added. "You know that, right?" Her eyes flickered. She didn't say anything. When she finally left, she didn't slam the door or scream. She just walked out and got in her car. I didn't hear from her again. But the next week, that's when everything really started to unravel. It started with my landlord. Hey, Max, his voicemail said. Weird thing, your mother called the office this morning, said she was your emergency contact and needed a copy of your lease agreement. She said you were being evicted and she was coming to help you move out. I told her that wasn't true, obviously, but heads up. Then came my bank again, a new attempt to open a joint checking account with her name added to mine. Then one of my friends, Alex, messaged me. Bro, your mom just added me on Facebook. She's been DMing me, asked if I've noticed any changes in your behavior. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Because that's when I knew she wasn't just trying to punish me anymore. She was trying to rewrite me, to paint this version of Max who was unreliable, paranoid, vindictive, to convince everyone around me that she was the victim and I was the problem. It was textbook. If she couldn't control the real version of me, she'd create a new one and broadcast it to the world. But what she didn't know, what she still doesn't know, is that I'd been documenting everything, every message, every email, every attempt to interfere with my job, my housing, my finances, every name she dragged into it, every lie she told. I wasn't just playing defense anymore. I was getting ready to strike back. I spent the next 2 weeks doing something I never thought I'd do. I lawyered up. His name was Trent. Not flashy, not aggressive, but sharp as glass and calm like a surgeon. He specialized in family legal disputes, harassment, and digital defamation. After our first meeting, I sent him the full digital dossier I'd compiled. Emails, texts, voicemails, social media screenshots, even the fake lawyer letter. He was stunned by how organized I was. Max, he said, scrolling through the folder. This isn't just petty drama. This is targeted harassment, and if she contacted your employer under false pretenses, that could cross into legal territory real fast. That's when things shifted. I filed for a cease and desist. The letter was clean, factual, emotionless. It cited specific instances of impersonation, financial fraud, attempted defamation, and harassment. It also made clear that any future attempts to contact me, my employer, my landlord, or my friends would lead to escalation, including potential civil suits for damages and defamation. The letter went out officially, certified mail. 3 days later, silence. Then, like a dying fire flaring up one last time, my mom called. I didn't answer, of course. The voicemail was icy and measured, like she was reading from a script. I got your letter. I suppose this is who you are now. It's just sad. You used to be such a sweet boy. I hope one day you'll understand what you've done to this family. Click. And that was it. No apology, no self-reflection, just another guilt trip wrapped in victimhood. I blocked her number, changed mine. A week later, I updated all my passwords, got a credit freeze, and removed every single family member from my socials. I even asked HR to set up a gatekeeper flag so that any external communication involving my name would come to me first. They were more than happy to comply. As for Lena, she messaged me 2 months later from a new number. It was short. You were right. She turned on me. I didn't reply, not out of spite, just peace. Real peace. The kind you feel when you finally put out the last ember of a house you should have left burning years ago. In the end, Mom didn't get her tropical vacation. She didn't get her money, or her leverage, or her control. All she got was a silence louder than any apology I could have given, and the cold realization that her manipulation didn't work on me anymore. I didn't just walk away. I shut the door for good. And let me tell you, the air is a lot cleaner on the other side.